it was like, oh my God, this is so Emily.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's setting up.
Okay.
It was like, oh my God, this is so Emily. And we can hear ourselves so beautifully. Here we are. We are 8 minutes, right on divine timing, past the
Absolutely.
2 p.m. Central Time. So thank you for everyone. If there's somebody that was waiting already for us, everyone else that coming in, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited. I'm so excited not only because this today's guest slash glitch, today's glitch, I will say, is really adding a beautiful value, as I just shared with her, a beautiful
Mhm.
value to everything around her and to the collective, to her community. And I got to witness it beautifully throughout the years. Yet, because I know her personally, per se, we've been acquaintances. Well, now I've been really friends, yet I
Yeah.
was probably more than with your mom friend. Yeah. So I've
Uh-huh.
kind of seen her really, yeah, literally grow up from a youngster and constantly revisiting, reuniting with her in a events or these quantum coordinates, I will say where I was going through my own expansions, correct? Like I was going to an expo and then suddenly she's like playing the sound balls and I was like, oh, I know her. Okay, okay. And then suddenly I was like, wow, I really, really, really would love for to experience what it feels like my body embodying that yoga discipline, per se, precision. So I went through her school, and it was so interesting to witness myself meeting her in a crossroads where I was doing my growth, right, in a way, or expansion, challenging myself, and and I saw you doing the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited for that. It was like, wow, it's so beautiful to witness somebody like having a s- hero journey or a
Yeah.
know thyself journey. And I know them, and there's nothing personal at all because we never really, yeah, had personal conversations per se. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, and the witnessing was so beautiful. So when I was thinking about this episode, and then when I already knew that it's you, um, all kinds of stuff start coming up. Yet lately, I was talking with Helen. She might be here on live a little bit later, maybe, uh, about egg being broken from inside life, right? There is a quote, egg broken, being broken from outside, death. Yeah, and right away I was like, yeah, I can definitely go dive right there with Emile because I do see her, rather life challenging you and slapping you around so so vividly and surprise, right? And feeling mostly and experiencing mostly because you shook up and that's where attention goes then, right? So then you're experiencing mostly through that old collapse of you, the collapse, the death, the loss, the lack, correct?
Yeah.
And if you are challenging yourself right before these collapses, right? Like, wow, I already went into like a really full talk. I don't even, so yeah, I will go to, I feel like the story is kind of essential as well right now because again, it tells my lens and my interpretation, right, on one's journey, you right now. So if you were challenging yourself from inside, what I loved when I heard you, not only like, oh, in yoga, on in breath work, the sound healing, like getting these certifications, yet at the same time, uh, oh, I felt like I'm kind of maybe done in Chicago, you know? She is a beautiful owner, co-owner, founder of yoga studio And really, she has a very, very strong, beautiful certification school. I went through it as well, and not for the, I knew that I'm not going to be teaching yoga. Yet I picked yours because I was getting everything. I was getting the philosophy behind it. I was getting even business training. I was getting the breath work, the meditation. We went everywhere. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was so amazing. So I was like, oh, she dives all in. On the top of it, with your relationships, with your life, with your lifestyle. You're like, oh, Chicago is getting like this structure that I built. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's getting a little small. And
Yeah.
again, you even shared with me because we still do yoga together, how uncomfortable it is to start from like, who am I? How am I sharing now? What am I doing? Where am I starting? So again, hence,
Totally.
welcome, 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 everyone.
Mhm.
Everyone got enough time today for sure to to get online. Listen, it's so beautiful. Thank you for coming in. Put your name in maybe in the comments or where are you from as well. Uh,
Yes.
so I will take a few minutes every so on to check in with the comments and to say hi to people as well. So yes, that's why this episode 012 being the glitch. Again, everybody here in some kind of way collapsed their own old structures, old core beliefs, peeled off these shells, pull them through their shatters of pain,
Yeah.
alchemized it, and again, leaned into expansion. Hence, there are naturally a lot of us, let's say, choosing the path to support others, right? And to be the visual. And some people, you don't have to really, just by being it. You're already supporting everyone around. When you collapse your BS. So that's so beautiful. And the episode of Rebirth as a lifestyle, I was like, F yes, fuck yes.
Yes.
It's a Emile, because we can dive so like everywhere. Because again, every time our crossroads met, our timelines, the parallel timelines became one timeline. I was like, wow, we're both in expansion. Wow, we're both in expansion. Wow, we're both, in expansion. I was like, wow, okay, that's her studio. Okay, really cool. So that's who Emily is for me, a beautiful star sister. And I shared with her as well a while ago. I was like, I don't think you comprehended it to be me because a few years ago I told her, we stand like soldiers,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
really I was like, wow, okay, it's beautiful. We've always been connected in this beautiful quantum field, no matter. Nothing is personal, right? And
yeah.
so I see you. Yes, all of it. Yes, the titles we can collect them, correct? The certifications, the yogi, the breath work, and so on.
Right.
Yet, really, a beautiful star sister that unapologetically shows the path of expansion, and
Mhm.
travels with such a curiosity and courage wherever it leads her. And in the same time as she keeps allowing herself to bloom into this next level of depth, right? Into the next level of consciousness levels and expansion and oneness and wholeness within herself. You really always create such a beautiful wow from the retreats and communities and everything. So I am very excited.
Thank you.
Emile, she can tell you the whole her what do you call it, right? I did this, I did that if you want to, or you can look her up as well. She's on Instagram and she's on Facebook. She has quite a few links. You will
Yeah.
share with me. I'll put the links there. Okay, go. And you, yes, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Roma, for just all the love and that beautiful introduction. It's an honor to share this space with you and just see what wants to happen through our conversation, really lean into a good flow state in service for the greater good. And I feel like if there's anyone to just flow with it, it's you.
I love
So,
it.
yeah, yeah. Thank you for that introduction. Yeah, I would say maybe just to, I guess, share a few words
Please.
about myself. Ultimately, I'm really interested in supporting people to ultimately tap into their potential and to really recognize that you are the medicine. You have everything you need within you to create the life of your dreams, and that you can be your own source of what it is that you need. That you are ultimately the medicine. And the way I see it is that within each of us lies the blueprint of evolution. There's this impulse within us that wants to grow, that wants to evolve, that wants to create. It's all around us. It's in the seed of an acorn that has the potential of a whole forest, right? It's in the seed of the caterpillar that intuitively knows to take that journey into the darkness to morph into a butterfly. We all have this like evolutionary impulse within us that is driving us through life. And I mean, just looking at the world around us, it's very evident that we live in an expansive universe that's consciously expanding, and we are a part of that journey. So to not expand, to not change things up, to not welcome rebirth is, in my opinion, a disservice to life, a disservice to this evolutionary impulse. And to kind of, I really believe that to hear that like subtle whisper of this source energy, this universal source, it's not a matter of like needing to gain more things. It's really a matter of like shedding, right? Just peeling back the layers, the masks, the disempowering stories, the limiting beliefs, to peel it all back to access that original blueprint, that original state of expansion, of like birth just happening at all times. And yeah, and ultimately like I'm just so turned on and so passionate about like really helping people tap into that within themselves, that I'm not, I'm not the guru here. I'm just here to reflect a mirror and to do my best to support people to recognize that they are who they're looking for. And um, there's a lot of different modalities to get there. Really, there's a lot of different modalities and ways to kind of peel back and touch that infinite space within, and letting it inspire our lives and letting it guide us. And some of the ways that I really enjoy doing that is, which we'll dive into what will naturally flow, but like through movement, through meditation, through breath work, through sound therapy. Honestly, some of my favorite ways is like through conversation, and being curious, and yeah, and different mentorship styles that are really all about like intuitive development, being able to learn the way your mind, body mind system intuitively is trying to guide you, that maybe we're not listening to, or we're kind of drowning those intuitive nudges, and not really hearing that intuitive impulse that's trying to lead us towards our own expansion. So yeah, just
Love it.
a little bit of like
I love it.
how
Yeah.
I like to operate, and what really inspires me in this work.
Love it. Yeah, and you touched a beautiful subject, um, as well as modalities, all these tools, two to two here in Chicago, as modalities and all these tools. Again, they're just the tool, correct? Like journaling, meditation and journal, breath work and meditate and journaling, for example, will be able for you to show you a blind spot, a fear, right?
Mhm.
An old pain, and then you still get to be able to face it, to understand how your body processes it easier, right? To somebody is
Yeah.
like gets to totally go within, right? For me, it's so much easier. I simply go within, and I always in solitude reorganize myself. For somebody, it's gonna be, and sometimes as well, it changes for me. Sometimes I'm going to need more of a movement, to re-regulate, to regulate myself.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sometimes my limbs get to have more movement and more shaking. Sometimes the nervous system more grounding. Correct. Yeah. Sometimes body more movement, sometimes more restoration in a
Yeah.
different way. So, and it's fun again because Emily and I travels every week into a portal, and yeah, very intuitively. I enjoy having my lifestyle in a way that no matter where I travel, and I travel quite a bit, that it's like, because I used to love to have studios near me, like yoga
Yeah.
studio and my Muay Thai. So it's really fun right now to be like, oh my, I get to create, and my body gets to move, and we do a little breath work and meditation, obviously at the end, and really listen into what our vessels are saying.
Yeah.
So I love
Yeah.
it. Again, there's so many different ways to show up, so many different ways to show up for
Absolutely.
yourself to
Absolutely.
regulate your body. And those challenges, those expansion work, how I see it, it automatically supports for my body, right, to move into the next level of capability.
Right.
Yeah, if I was constantly triggered, yeah, those tools and modalities, and including a facilitator, including the coach, it's like, okay, I'm getting to know myself through the breath. I'm getting myself to know myself through yoga. I'm getting to know myself through Muay Thai. I always like to invest as well, right? Like it's fun to have support. It's like accelerated. Really,
Yeah.
the way till now I keep telling you how my fascia felt, how my limb felt, and the shape even of the body, like you could see it so vividly because I was there every day. She was there with me, like what it was 6 months, I think. It was
Yeah.
a while. Yeah, it was 4 to 5 hours in the AM early, and I loved it. So
Hmm.
my body's capabilities were different. On the top of it, obviously I was already going through my own structure where I was detoxing a little bit. Yeah.
Hmm.
Then I was totally enjoying and allowing myself everything. And again, then you keep learning with experiences. What does your body need the most? Where, aha, at this moment, okay, something is changing. Okay, now it
Hmm.
gets to slow down. Oh, now it's this. Again, you're maximizing your potential because if your nervous system can handle, right, move through easier, not get triggered by the triggered. Even if you get triggered, move through it easier, correct?
Hmm.
If you can emotionally and mentally to unhook yourself from the old stories, from the old loops, the same if your limbs if your limbs are working beautifully, if your fascia, it's literally a memory imprint of what was not processed. So if I haven't processed shame for a while, my body will have this posture automatically, no questions
Yeah.
asked. So how beautiful that you can support your body with, oh, at the same time I'm journaling and doing some breath work and being with things, and learning something new about myself, and learning my limitations, and at the same time I'm actually supporting my fascia through this movement. So you kind of start pouring into body simultaneously, and it's not
Hmm.
as challenging as it seems like, because really there are so many things throughout the day that we already do, that if we're just bring presence. You cook, you bring presence into the food, you already talk to the food, you already comment right there. You already structure the food into something. You're already
Yeah.
doing it. Simply bringing all those energies right here, that beautiful presence,
Hmm.
right? How you're feeling about while you're making the food. How
Yeah.
many of us cook and be like, ah, I have to cook for them. Ah, this is my time. Yeah, like what are we putting even in the food, right, Emile?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, like everything is ultimately energy, right? And even the physical world it appears physical, but it's just compactly tight energy that it appears physical, right? And there's so much science already on this and about this. So energy influences the material world, right? So if our physical bodies are dense with heavy emotions, if the energy of our thoughts are negative and
Exactly.
also carry a lower vibration, like that is your energetic signal, right? That's what you're like signaling out. And what you're signaling out, you're going to get back. You can want love all you want, but if all you feel and think about is how much you're
Lack,
unworthy of
how
love
much lack of love.
yeah, or how much this and that person you don't like or whatever, if that's the energy you're putting out, like how are you going to ever align yourself with love if what you're constantly putting out is the opposite of that, right? So like attracts like the way I see universe, God, source, however people want to label that which is breathing through us and weaving all of this so beautifully. I find it like it's like your personal hype man. It's like, it's just hyping up whatever you're putting energy towards, right? So if you're putting your thoughts, your emotions towards self-worth and success and prosperity, and that's what you're putting out, this source energy is going to be like, yes, yes, that's it. And if you're putting out like, oh, I'm so unlovable, I'm so unworthy, source is like, yes, you're so unlovable. You're so just whatever you put out, it kind of gives back. So, even just the example with food, right? If you're making food with this negative
And
mindset,
cursing.
yeah, and that's what you're putting out. That's what you're putting into the food, and that's basically what you're going to eat now, right?
Yeah,
And this goes really with everything.
yeah,
Yeah, but just to kind of comment on that,
yeah,
definitely. Mhm.
absolutely. So again, it doesn't even have to be a modality. You can start just the way you take your shower or your bath and the way you cook. Just with
The
those
way
two
the way you
things.
take your first breath in the morning.
Shift it, yeah, shift it for like 10 to 20 days, and then, yeah, like you said, okay, just, okay, simply acknowledge and be here present fully for the first one full breath. And yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Because again, if your attention, your presence, is the story of your subconscious, where your attention goes, right? Your actions are towards expansion. You will see expansion in your life.
Yep.
If it's towards protection and contraction, that's what you're going to see. You're
Yep.
going to see the war, the chaotic energy, and again, the struggles and the challenges, because we're waiting for them to. There's nothing wrong with that as well, because it's not even your fault and it's not about even your willpower. It was programmed in you. And sometimes people don't even know that it's programmed, and you feel
Yeah.
like you are the laziest, the worthless piece of whatever. And that you can. It's simply there is so much shame imprinted in you that at this moment, a challenge of 60 days hardcore, or let's say 75 days, like Emile and I, at this moment, let's say we jump in, that's not what it is for you. Again, for you is first 10 days, just the breath. Just one little thing, just actually apologizing to yourself. It's just the first thing, just to wake up every day and be like, I'm sorry for all the time I beat you up. And then the next day you're like, I'm sorry. I told you yesterday I'm sorry, and then I beat you up again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, really, as ridiculous as it sounds. And the more unpredictable you are, the more reality is like, what's happening? It's okay.
Mhm.
So where I was going, and I wanted to lead you into, obviously we would love for you to share, as well. Well, like I invite all the glitches, um, from your own experiences, like the
Mhm.
times where you questioned, your own sanity, where you questioned your own worthiness, where you had to leap without having any evidence that it might work, correct, where maybe you had to let go and all this stuff.
Yeah.
From again, for perspective, like in your, okay, we're going, why challenge feels like collapse when your why is missing. And I know as well, again, that you are very aware of that, because it feels like your whys, you are aware of your whys. um,
Mhm.
to collaborate on that, again, if my wife my is missing, the life gonna give me the why eventually, either way. Correct? If my
Mhm.
why is is not there, I will not commit to, let's say, hearing my body fully. Yeah. Or seeing that this is not working and I'm just pushing and holding the last pieces together while um, my insides are shattering. Right? I'm
Yeah.
pretending everything is okay. So I'm not choosing my why to do anything about anything from inside within inside world. I'm not taking any responsibilities. The life will give us the why. So it will shake. Again, it's not punishing us. It simply shows you that your body has bigger potential to hold a cleaner signal.
Hmm.
More of information, higher frequency information, right? Wider bandwidth of those frequencies, bandwidth of colors, bandwidth of experiences, and all this stuff. So it's evolutionary structure of is just kind of nudging you to like, hey, so if we're not taking upon our wives, like, right, I'm putting myself into this challenge and responsibility because again, like you said beautifully, it's not even about these titles or certifications or what you did more. No, it's what I became where from a long time ago, stepping on yoga mat, it was such a big anxiety for me. Where slowing down was a big thing for me, right?
Hmm.
Pausing. Where you literally had a panic attack first time in the restorative yoga pose, your yoga class. Wow, I cursed myself so much for taking me there. You don't know. I had trauma. I didn't go to yoga for a year after my first two
Hmm.
times. Then the second time I started, I went, my girlfriend took me to the hot yoga, but you know, the one in Chicago, 130, not the one that is, and it was January 1st, and I was hangover 90 minutes, and yet I pushed through. So, yet, and me ending up enjoying, you get it, seeing my body shapeshift, seeing my ability, my movement, seeing my emotions move through it. Again, all of it, right? Enjoying myself in such a different ways, taking that, let's say, yoga journey. So it's about not the yoga journey itself, it's about what I'm becoming, what I'm unrevealing, what
Hmm.
layers I'm peeling off because it's always expansion through contraction. Sometimes you're nervous to speak up, sometimes you're nervous to do live or to record something. Sometimes things are not flowing, so you get to learn how to hear the creative within you when it needs a little pause, when it needs that void, when it needs that,
Yeah.
yeah. So again, your why is very importante because if you don't have the why, the outside world gives you why, and the outside world gives you why. It's an egg broken from outside, so again, it's gonna feel more so like death. Yet paradoxes, Emile will probably agree with me that and the death and the birth is happening simultaneously, anyways. Because when you level up, there's so much that happens with the
Yeah.
relationships, with the places that you shift, your own identities, in every area, even your body, really, things shift and things change. Yet again, if you are choosing the why, if your focus and your presence is put in expansion, you're paying attention to expansion, you know that contraction is happening. You're aware of it as well. Right, Amelia?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're like, oh, is it me really going on? There is grief that happens when you're collapsing the old stuff as well. Yet again, the majority of your experience feels like an expansion, right? Like growth, like embodiment of more of you, more of authenticity through you. Like I always say that I feel like it's more of like the higher self is bigger, like much bigger. So it's like it feels like more of me in this vessel, every cell is able to fit in a way,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So looking at your life. How many times you got the why from the outside? Maybe like again, a lot of us first our first experience, maybe Some of us went down a rabbit hole with their health, some of us with like deep depression, right? Some of us with, so whatever, or how many times as well you see and how different experiences feel when you see that you heard yourself and you stepped into the challenge, right? You stepped in into the new chapter. You stepped in into the
Yeah.
new. So wherever you want to go from there, because I feel like this is important for everyone to realize. Life will be lifing, cycles will be happening, evolution will be happening no matter what. It's just the experience of it. It's in a ways like, ooh, maybe I can tune in with my vessel and experience where I actually enjoy it. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So,
See where you want to go.
so the question is like, just so I can get clear on it, is
Yeah.
like, what are the times where my why kind of came from the external or like,
Yeah. Yeah, if there was a times, if you feel like sharing about the
yeah.
times, like, again, we're talking about that. Why and embodying the lifestyle of a rebirth, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So looking at your personal experiences, correct? Because again,
Mm-hmm.
for mine, definitely, if I challenge myself and I step in into deeper clarity, into that, let's say, even action, even letting go or inaction, whatever is needed in
Yeah.
that moment, it feels like life needs less to get my attention, to knock less to get my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It doesn't get to places where there's big drama now again.
Right, right,
You
right.
get it?
Mm-hmm.
Because there is constantly expansion anyways, and I'm almost free will going
Yeah.
through the fires of the burning, whatever is burning.
Right, right.
So again, and I see you very much as constantly choosing that through your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, where you see that why working for you when you chose your own mind, when you stepped into the challenge first, or maybe you want to share where you're like, oh yeah, and where I kind of had a feeling, that this wasn't
Mm-hmm.
working, and then the relationship, maybe even the first times, how did you step in? How did you step in into like there is more?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
did you even start digging and seeking like the way you did, by the way?
Yeah. 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 Yeah, so for me it's interesting. For me it kind of began as a curiosity from childhood. So, yes, as I got older, like all sorts of life stuff happened that were just like triggers for me to wake up more. But really, where it all began was this sense of curiosity I had ever since I was like an adolescent little girl. Um, I always kind of felt like an alien, you
I
could
love it. I love it.
say.
I love it. That's why I told
Um,
you, sis, we're standing shoulder by shoulder.
yeah. Yeah. So, like, what can be a good starting point here to share kind of how it all sort of began for me to get on this kind of path and consciously choose my life and consciously choose my why. Um,
Well, you can start with the when you didn't consciously choose.
yeah, right. So ultimately, growing up, I always had a curiosity about life. Like I questioned life. Like I remember growing up and thinking about my own thoughts and like wondering like, huh, how am I thinking right? Like if I'm thinking, then how is it that I could watch my thoughts? Like I would go into these like little wormholes as a little girl, like just like up in La La Land, just
And
thinking about thinking and trying to understand how in the world this is all happening right now. I remember I'd like look at my body and I'm like, whoa, this is so cool. Like, how is this happening? Like, what is life? And so I kind of grew up just sort of naturally having these sense of curiosities about like existence and life and the mind. And this really perpetuated, like as I started to go into my teens and everything, it kind of started to perpetuate this like state of anxiety because like I just couldn't get any answers. And I felt very different um in my state of mind and my interests. Like I always just kind of felt like an outsider or like an alien and would have these big questions about life that I just couldn't get answers to. And yeah, it kind of perpetuated this like deep state of like anxiety. And like I went through like a depersonalization process where I couldn't really identify with my physical body. And it was just scary. And it sort of created a lot of panic in me. And I started to sort of live in this perpetual state of like anxiety and panic. And yeah, and it was kind of that trigger for me. It was kind of that like waking point for me.
I love it. So allow me to put a note
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Um, uh, Again, this is so important, I feel like, because if we would have shared a long time ago, all of us, I feel like, oh, so we just knew all of us and nobody said anything. And we were just all quietly felt weird, but
Yeah,
seriously, people thought that way. Like, anyways,
seriously.
this is really for every girl out there and every boy out there, and every teenager and young adult out there. And so many of us felt off and again felt not enough and felt not fitting in because we're not supposed to. These are the signs of the early detectors of the unoriginal structures. All the more as in general, the more sensitive or the one that can't associate, the one that feels off and weird. Again, a sensitive nervous system is just an early detection
Mhm,
of the corrupted structure. That's all what it is.
mhm,
So a lot of our systems long time ago felt like, of course we can't sit 8 hours in school straight and not move our bodies. Like, of course you don't feel bad because you got this grade, but then the world is telling you that way. And of
mhm,
course, and it's like, of course, but it's not of course for you at all.
mhm.
The world said, so I know exactly because for me, none of them even like the way they said I'm supposed to be, it didn't, I knew that I'm not supposed to be that way. No, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
supposed to. What are you saying I'm supposed to? So for everyone out there and everyone out there that is already an adult like us as well, yet got to go through the journey of the healing that inner child, and it's not like it's anybody's fault, any of generations, neither mom, so that's a whole pro. Again, the structure has been installed. Everything is so installed perfectly, perfectly. Church installs shame. Church right away. We're all born in sin. You get it? Like what?
Mhm,
It's the nervous system feels it. Period. We all walk in and it's the way we even hunch. The school installs automatically competition and the value of consumerism. Period. It's like
mhm.
more like nobody, like you say, if you get out of the high school, there's nothing you can do on your own. You get it? Where if the class would like, then the kids would work together, right? Like, oh, you have the sensitivity for this. Let's utilize it. Oh, you have like less competition, yet more as a community and all this stuff. So everything
Mhm,
was installed so perfectly. Hence, a lot of people, and then more even so got depended on, obviously, all the Xanaxes and Prozacs and everything. And for me as well, it was less physical issues. I always was in my body a lot. I was putting it through all kinds of from fastings, long term to and Muay Thais and every sport I could imagine. I enjoyed it. Yet inside emotional body and mental body was going nuts. I had such a deep, silent depressions. I was like, okay, it doesn't look right. It's just none of it makes sense.
mhm,
Um, and again, you think something is wrong with you.
mhm,
You think, really, why you're not settling? What is this? The question, why you're not settling? Why you can't just like just be, what are you doing? So again, um, everything is perfect and it worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
Like Emily, that's the beauty. Like ever label that you had, or anybody that has, it's again, it's all in inverted system. If you look from a higher perspective, and now as you're gonna be unveiled, you will see, oh, you are the one that were detecting incoherence.
Hmm.
So you were detecting incoherence. And again, that's our beautiful journey in our own way. A lot of us put it together, right, for ourselves, to call yourself forward, then to really start like you anymore don't have a choice at this point to not get some kind of an answer,
Yeah.
right? You're really, a lot of times it's challenging, and a lot of times people get stuck there as well. um how lucky it really is that I've always, even with you and with your mom, what, 2012, 2013, we went to the Ayurvedic camps, then silent camps, then really always looking and knowing like that there is, it must click, something must click.
Hmm.
So thank you so much for sharing that. So
Yeah.
openly and personally, yeah, continue or add wherever you want to go, yeah, with
Yeah,
that
no,
one.
I do really love what you said about like how we're kind of like put into a system where we gotta like fit into some sort of box. And it's like, no, I don't want to fit in and I'm not meant to fit in, and we all have such unique energies that fulfill the whole if we just allow our unique energy to flow, right? Rather than fitting into these boxes where we suppress our energy, aka suppress life and the way that it wants to move through you for the greater good. So I really love that you touched on that. And I feel like growing up, I was kind of just like noticing, acknowledging that and becoming aware of that, of how like there's this, pretty box that is drawn for, for me to have to fit into to be some sort of way to meet some sort of norms, from family or from
And your
school.
nervous system is like literally frying inside, and you
Yeah.
don't understand why.
Yeah, and like something feels off, something feels wrong, something feels contracting, So I gotta say, for me, it kind of all began not necessarily from like some sort of big wake up call from the outside, but it sort of began from just have approaching life with curiosity from the get-go.
Beautiful.
Um, and yeah, and some of the things you said about like religion, and I support whatever religion people
Absolutely.
feel like they can connect to, a sense of freedom and everything. But I remember growing up and being introduced to, certain religions and just really like this whole concept of like heaven and hell. And I remember when I was, a little girl and like a preteen, I would think about, I'm like, there's the hell, like you just get punished and you just is that's it
Forever.
and then you're there forever. And I remember like freaking out. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that can't be that. What kind of God would do that? Like
What a
that.
great question.
And I remember like literally going to sleep, having a panic attack, thinking about how there could be some sort of eternal hell. And just for me personally, it just didn't resonate. And I'm like, this can't be it. Like it can't just be that. And like that curiosity like really drove me through life. And I think where like the big shift really happened, where I started to like just really create my own life was ultimately when my best friend died. When I was 18, I lost my best friend. And that was kind of like a big wake up call for me. Like at that point, I was just kind of going through motions, like trying to be a high schooler, like, trying to do the things high schoolers do, but like not really having a good time with it. And like have being very curious about the mind. I was already very deep into like studying psychology at the time. But I didn't really have any practice or anything. I just like, yeah. And then when my best friend passed, that was a really big wake up call for me because I got to be in his presence when he took his last breath. And from then I started to connect with him on a spirit energetic level. And that like re-sparked this big curiosity that was there from childhood and just kind of got reawakened through his passing. And eventually um, I had an existential crisis around that time as well. We don't have to necessarily get into the details of that, but like I had a whole like existential crisis where I basically had realized that I'm not my body. Like I really consciously had realized exactly what you just called it, where your like higher self is actually much larger than your physical form. Like I fully get behind that as well. That like I don't believe that, oh, the spirit is in the body. No, the body is in your spirit. Like your spirit is much vaster, much larger than your physical body. And like you said, it's a matter of coming in, like bringing more of yourself into this body to then live through it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Goosebumps,
had,
goosebumps.
yeah, so I had an experience around, I mean, at this point, like a little over 10 years ago, I had this experience of recognizing myself beyond the physical body. And I felt this part of myself that is beyond the physical, that is tapped into the infinite, if you will, whatever you want to call it. And I I kind of like almost lost my conscious mind. It was like I was so present that I couldn't really cultivate a thought. And I was just in that 0 point field of everything and nothing all at once, like ego death, like full on ego death. I can't identify with my body. I can't identify with my mind. There's everything and there's nothing, and I don't know what to do with this. And I'm kind of scared. And why can't I cultivate a thought? Why, like, it was this extremely expanded state that I dropped into. And that deeply fascinated me. Like that kind of led me to then go on this spiritual journey. And I started to turn to different texts and books about the power of the subconscious mind and the power of now. And I was diving into all these texts to try to understand like what I experienced, this ego death that I experienced. And at the time, again, I was like already studying psychology. I was like already following this deep interest about the mind that was already very present since I was a child. And I actually remember when I was 14 years old, I was like, I'm going to help people's minds. I didn't really know what I meant by that, but I'm like, I'm going to help people's minds and, you know, help people be free. And like I was already interested in like there was just this innate, purpose I feel like that's been
You
guiding
brought in
my
the
entire life.
codes. You knew exactly what you were saying.
Yeah, yeah. So here I am going through this ego death while having this deep fascination about the mind and consciousness. So I almost use myself as like a test
Yeah.
subject, to try to like unpack what happened and like how I, where my consciousness went. What did I tap into? What was that? And I started to read texts, like I had mentioned, about the power of the subconscious mind, where it was teaching me how to like rewire my thoughts. And I remember like before bed and upon waking, I would read like this passage that I would write to try to seed my subconscious with things that I want to manifest and align with and have energy for and like get in tune with. And and mind you, I'm like in high school or and maybe starting college at this point, and like no one's interested in these kinds of things in my circle but me. So
Yeah.
I'm very alone in all this as well. And I started to see in real time how me changing my mind was changing my reality. And I was like, oh shit, we are really we are tapping into something here. And I remember before my exams, I would like meditate rather than try to like study my books like crazy. I would like go into meditations and like see how that would serve me and that would support me. And it was just one thing led to another. And here I am just like feeling totally reborn to who I really am beyond the physical, like a little baby that I see
Yeah.
the sunshine and I'm like, oh my God, the sun is so beautiful. I look at the sky. I'm like, oh my God, the sky is so beautiful. Like it was like this whole rebirth, like clearing the fog
Yeah.
over the lens of my eyes and realizing the miracle, the magic that is life, and that same miracle is moving through me. And I just wanted to scream on the top of my lungs, like, does anyone else
No.
recognize how insane this life is and how this is even happening? Like this is epic, you know? And and eventually through these books I was reading, they were really guiding me into meditation and talking about meditation. I was like, "Oh, okay." So I started to like follow these kind of scripted guides on meditation in these books. And Eckhart Tolle is like my personal Jesus. And it was through his books and through his perspective that attuned something in me that made me access what I would call nirvana, bliss, samadhi, God. Like his words and his beautiful guidance into the present moment helped me touch pure bliss. And like the way I remember in that moment, I was sitting in meditation and I just opened my eyes, and all of a sudden, like, just this love floods through me and to me. And I remember looking at, I like saw the particles in the air almost, and I felt like I was making love with the air. I mean, I was having like a spiritual, energetic orgasm almost of like,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
like I felt what I know, I understand that everyone has their own definition of God and whatever people connect to, beautiful. And like for me in that moment, I was like,
Experiencing.
oh, I'm like, I think this is God. Like I think this is
Experiencing
what
God. Yeah. For me,
yeah,
the
I was
same
like,
is
it's
an
a
experience.
frequency. I'm like, it's a frequency. It's a
Yeah.
resonance.
Mm,
It's not something outside of me. It's right here. It's right now. It's in my breath. It's in my body. It's in the moment. It's everywhere. It's everything. And we are a manifestation of this frequency, this universal source frequency. And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, we're everything we're looking for is right here. It's not out there. It's all right here and we can access it. We can access it like our bodies are our vehicles and we can dial ourselves into that energy,
yeah.
through peeling back. Like all I was doing is peeling back all that I wasn't to touch this God frequency, this source energy within me, and let it inspire my life and let it guide my life. And from then, life started to become very like effortless and driven, by that intuitive impulse that is guiding the caterpillar, to morph into the butterfly, that is guiding everything to happen in perfect harmony. And
Yeah.
that was the moment where I was like, this is what I think I mean by wanting to be a psychologist, is I was like, this is it. It's tapping into this that I want to help and support people with. So that's kind of like
Yeah.
where all of that began for me.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, you utilized words as a child, the words that you knew, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the same. And so intriguing because again, all our journeys and stories, they are so differently expressed, yet it looks like
Hmm.
that kind of formula is like it's the same, right? Like it's the same structure. The things that we peel off, it's actually the same in a way. All of us that not enoughness, all of us that all of us this. It's just again, it's expressed and plays out as reality as in the movie very differently.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
love that you touched that dark night of the soul, right? That dissociation, uh,
Hmm.
because yeah, this is the place where it can get really scary, and at this point, you're like, I just don't know what to do, uh,
Right.
and there can be quite a few of those, right? And then some of them not so scary anymore. Yet you're still
Hmm.
moving through these layers are peeling off. Like we're constantly like, I don't know who I am. What now? Oh, the old ways, it doesn't feel like working. And that's the beauty. Again, when you are in that mode, Emile, right? When you're in that mode where you're aware of your vessel, your antenna, of how clear is the signal, right? When the signal is not clear, I'm aware, I'm dysregulated, right? The waters are muddy, the loop is looping.
Mm.
I know you've had the, suddenly stagnancy and paralysis where you're in fear.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
there are sometimes you move through it with like, okay, I'll get up and I'll move my body. I remember one of your posts said, again, it's you are the one that tells the reality what the feedback to give you.
Yeah, we're
So again,
instructing, we're instructing our own lives.
yeah, so again, that's the mode of you still continue to choose those challenges. Because in
Hmm.
that mode, in that God mode, you don't wait for a reality to slap, You don't
Hmm.
like sit in a place where like it's so uncomfortable, it doesn't pay you enough, you're miserable there, you've been miserable there, it's been knocking on you, you've been hearing it, and you're still like, and again, everything still happens in a perfect timing. Emilia, as the same, right? If you look back, including the events as full of pain and unfortunate, and really, there's so much there, as your best friends transitioning into other, right? Yet everything feels like, wow, it was set up so perfectly that I can't even imagine a more perfect setup for me to be home. Because
Yeah,
what you called all these, I was like, call it whatever you want. Yeah, call it whatever you want because yeah, it feels home. You came home. And
yeah.
once you came home there's everywhere feels home.
Hmm.
Nothing is threatening. No world looks scary. You're home all the time, no matter where you
Yeah,
at.
yeah, I love that. I love that. Mm.
Yeah, so beautiful. Again, in that mode, you get to choose your why. Um, you get to choose a path of like, okay, you know what? I will challenge. It's been saying it's here. It's
Hmm.
been sitting. I get to step into something. I get to allow myself to go through this rebirth. Allow your parts to die. Again, it sounds scary. It looks scary. It can feel very scary. Yet none of it is a fact. Nothing. You will not die. At the end of it.
Hmm.
The fear will not eat your life at the end of it. It's set up there to show you your potential so
Yeah.
perfectly and so freaking precisely.
Hmm.
So yeah, I love, I love, I love. And again, Dark Night of the Soul, if anybody's going through it, or a mini one, we love you. You are loved. Yeah, that's the part of that cocoon. That's the part of
Yeah.
you being actually not like something wrong with you, yet so beautifully, sensitively in tune what you really, really want. Hence, it's being born.
Yeah. For new things to be born, the old things have to die. So, whenever I know of like friends or family or acquaintances that I hear are going through a dark time, what I think is good for them. Good for them because it is through
Yeah,
there where we
level.
extract deep
Yeah,
meaning. It is from there where we touch that baseline of what our true values and who we are to the core of us. And it is through that darkness where we can be reborn, right? There's a saying of the womb is where the wound is.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There is no collapse without the rebirth. There is
Yeah.
no rebirth without the death. The egg
And
dies either way, right? Either it's cracked from the outside or either the chick cracked it from inside. The egg is done either way. It's just again, it's where you're going to experience more of, what
yeah.
your vessel will be able to tune into. If I don't allow myself to feel out something, uh, my body gonna speak about it later on. Either way, I'm gonna have to deal with it. So again, it's not even wrong to choose not to do anything about it. Absolutely, it's perfect. And this could be simply an intro for you to have it in the back of your mind as a possibility or as a consideration to, hey, okay, I will consider at one point that might be a scenario. Because we're all here not to prove how it works for you, not to tell you how your reality is supposed to be. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you are moving through, the way you see it, that's how it is because you see it and this is your reality.
Yeah.
So me saying that it can be this way and this way, right? It's not negating that you are not feeling easy, light, excited about your day, right?
Hmm.
Yes, yes, misery. Yeah, your reality is the way you going to decide and the way you see it and your system is capable of. And it doesn't negate if somebody has a different experience in the same room, in the same party, in the same event. It doesn't negate your experience. It never did.
Hmm.
Yeah. Eh, Yet by us sharing what ours is, what yours is, what hers is, we are simply showing each other our own possibilities. That's it, because it's everybody's. The
Hmm.
information is everybody's. The evolution is everybody's. It's not like I'm going to evolve and somebody else is not going to. It's like we're all connected anyways, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody is still clearing something up, there is a part of me playing there as well. So here you go. And so again, it's a possibilities of to see it sometimes through like somebody's different lenses and to see into different perspectives. That gives you that aha moment. Okay, maybe it is possible. And that's where sometimes it's enough to start. As Emile said, she was very curious, and that was her first things into everything.
Hmm.
Even through the very heavy time, right? And all dissociation, and probably like disliking the body, disliking the identity, disliking everything.
Yeah.
That's heavy shit. Yeah. Yet you stay curious enough. That was more, right?
Hmm.
Than really hating it. So curiosity saved the cat. Didn't kill the cat. Don't worry about it. They've been programming you guys. Curiosity killed the cat. No, it didn't kill the cat. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. I had another, if anything to add here. Other than that, I had another question for you.
Yeah.
Again, in your own words or your own experiences, obviously. How to meet the death/rebirth cycle without trauma or drama. So,
Hmm.
what works for you? Obviously, there is a full spectrum of experiences. So, sometimes even us, we move with a little drama, and that's perfectly ideally set up. Yet, what supports you dominantly? What supports you to move through something that could go into obviously, a very heavy loop, drama mode,
Yeah.
whatever. How do you support yourself? How do you meet these challenges? How do you meet these chapters?
Yeah. Trauma isn't, we can have a traumatizing experience, but we don't have to actually get traumatized by it, right? So a really a really important thing I would say when kind of going through like death and rebirth or challenges and just hardships is like recognizing that you get to choose the story behind it. You get to choose, you get to make meaning. You choose the meaning, right? Nothing is inherently meaningful. You choose the meaning you want to place on the experiences that you're having, right? So two people could be looking at the exact same thing, and one person can see it as beauty and the other person can see it as something that's ugly,
Mm,
right? And it's because at the end of the day, everything just is. That's it. And it's our lens of perception that is choosing the meaning. It's the meaning making, right? So I feel like how can what I try to do is approach everything as an opportunity, right? Rather than a limitation. So like a very simple example is like traffic, right? Or someone cuts you off in traffic, and one person can see that as some sort of limitation, like, oh, they just cut me off and now I'm going to be late to work or
yeah.
whatever. And another person could see that as an opportunity to practice patience. And they lean into it. They're like, they allow that to happen and they allow that to be a moment to practice patience and to
Yeah.
practice, remaining centered, even if there is chaos around you, right? So
Beautiful.
anything can be looked at as an opportunity for growth, for a new perspective, or it can be looked at as some sort of limitation or something that's holding you back. So first and foremost, for me personally, it's that
Story.
it's perspective. It's the story that I'm choosing to place on what's happening in my life. And that's really what dictates whether I'm going to experience like somatize what's the word somatize like take in
Yeah.
the like absorb it as like a trauma, like a held energy that is now not flowing and moving, and then it festers in there and can start to create negative beliefs and etc. Instead, I'm receiving, if there's a little punch that comes at me through life, I receive it and I alchemize it right away. And I would say truly the quickest way to alchemize it is choosing is a perspective shift. Is
Beautiful.
not is perspective shift ultimately. But I gotta say, like, okay, like that's very like it's like, okay, how do you make that practical, right? It's like, okay, I get what you're saying, but like how do you actually in the moment allow yourself to be in that state where you're choosing the higher path, you're choosing the higher perspective, you're choosing, meaning making that is supportive rather than disempowering, right? Like how do you get to that point where you can in the moment choose a more empowering story or perspective that is giving you energy rather than draining your energy, right? So that's where practices come in. That's where energetic hygiene comes in. That's where meditation comes in. That's where movement comes in. That's where taking care of your body, mind, system, your vehicle, your vessel, that's where that comes in so that you can stay a clear channel. So when things come at you, your channel is so clear, you can
Yeah,
just
it moves through you. It
it
moves
moves
through
through
you.
you.
Yeah,
You're not a vibrational match to it.
yeah.
So it
I
doesn't
can't linger.
penetrate you. It doesn't
Yeah,
affect you because you're not an energetic match to that, right? So it's all about like raising your own personal vibration so that you're not a match to the bullshit, whatever you want to call it. Like you're not a match to those moments in life where they test you. You can take it, use it as fuel rather than letting
yeah.
it, rather than the opposite ultimately. So
So yeah, as I say, you either gonna take the wisdom or you're gonna deepen the wound.
yeah.
It's either or, moving through the thing, right? Because even
Hmm.
the event that comes up, it already has. That's why the event is there because I already hold the structure inside of me.
Hmm.
Correct. So, and again, the event comes up. First of all, what you said, I'm going to kind of just summarize it uh,
Sure.
beautifully. As it comes, remember that we've lived in inverted universe, right? So everything that looks shiny and powerful, it's the opposite. Hence the same. The breakdowns are the births. The breakdowns is where you get to start celebrating. Not in the breakthrough, you get to start celebrating. The
Hmm.
breakthrough, you already been celebrating. When the breakdown happens, when that contraction happens, when that you get it, there's still integration happening. There's still like there's so much already happening. And physically, when you already start seeing something shift, something collapse, meaning energetically, it's already done.
Hmm.
Right? So energetic is already done, meaning it depends up to me now how fast and how easy, like I just, it all clicks in and I move through
Yeah.
this. So yeah, as she said so beautifully, take the perspective of you, how you see the breakdown.
Hmm.
My invitation, and most of my tribe and clients say, like, they're like, oh, you're gonna say, I already celebrate you. I'm in the breakdown. I was like, oh, already celebrate you. Oh, congratulations for upgrade. Congratulations for the upgrade. So yes, absolutely. And for me, I'm gonna take it even further. Emily's curiosity, as looking like, why came up, what came up, how beautiful. If something came up and something really affected me, frustrated me, right? Basically, restructured my energy. How cool. there is something within me that is mirroring that as well. There's something within me that can be seen that maybe is still hiding, that maybe is still trying to protect itself, that maybe is this or that. So again, rather, it's okay to be pissed and mad and angry. Be pissed and mad and
Right.
angry, like literally be. Yet without the projection on the event, on the person, on anything, right? Just simply the way it feels, period. You don't need to project it onto something to have a feeling or expression, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to scream at Emile. She can sit with me and I can scream about my situation, right? But it doesn't have to involve of her blame and shame and somebody's fault. It doesn't have to be anybody's fault. I think a lot of us feel like, like confrontation, like it's something scary, or if I am expressing some kind of feeling, it's bad because it's already projecting. No, Emily, if it is it okay if your loved ones, your closest people, had the day whatever they had and come home and I don't know, your man like kick his ball around a few times, you can hear the punch in the vet, you can it's okay. It's okay if you can't be like if you can't express yourself fully next to a loved one feeling like you're projecting onto each other. Again, let's redefine our relationships then, because we are a multidimensional beings that are exploring, well, bringing heaven on earth here, yet we're exploring many dimensions at the same time. For us being physically here, shadow is something that must be here. The yin and the yang, right? The womb, the void, the dark matter, that's where everything pops up from, in a
Yeah.
way. So it's okay to be, I feel like a lot of times it's totally okay. I wouldn't even start resisting this. Stop resisting. What if it comes? It comes, it will come.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, again, decide like, okay, for Emily works perception change shift for me as well, right? And a lot of times I'll tune in the body what it needs. And a lot of times I will recognize why I had such a challenge or a hard time with this event.
Yeah, there's something there for us always. Everything we're
Value.
presenting in the present moment is there to serve us in some sort of way, right? There's value in everything we experience, or else it simply wouldn't be there. It just wouldn't be so if it wasn't meant to be. So, what is here for me, is the question, like, what is here for me through this experience?
I love it. I love
Mm.
it. It's flowing. Yeah, I love it. We're touching like without a huge plan, we're like touching what I knew that because you and I
Yeah.
work with it and work on it. It's my expansion going into session with her all the time.
Hmm.
Like breath work and and yoga and it's beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. And there are times that I show up halfway and sometimes tired and sometimes with my moon blood and and we go deeper into these stuff as well, like
Hmm.
how many times I got up like at the end of session like I have tears and
Hmm.
blissfulness and like I'm crying or giggling constantly. Like
Hmm.
I love it again because the philosophy is philosophy, yet embodiment is the thing. And Mila can share here as much as she wants, yet if my body does not feel emit right what she's sharing or giving the tools for, then it doesn't matter.
Hmm. Hmm.
If I step in fully in whatever tool she has to give me, right? I always pick everybody by energy. So it's I don't know. Yeah, Amelia, see, I was drawn to even your studio so far away to always come out. I don't really do bigger circle events or like moons. I never do. In fact, yours are the only ones that I ever came because you're like your energy. I was like, no,
Yeah. Oh,
I like the
good.
way she does things and the way she her of her being and her energy. So yeah, again, leaning into that expansion will require you bring on your curiosity,
Hmm.
allow yourself to open your mind changing many perspectives. Just change your fucking
Yeah.
mind as many times as you want to, as fast as you want to. Like,
Mhm.
go into that now, you know?
Yeah.
And celebrating already breakdown as a breakthrough, as it's already done, as you're moving. This is initiation. You're moving through initiation and integration. That's all. Contraction is an integration.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and maybe if you are at the place in this quantum field, in the coordinates of where the egg broke from outside, it's still perfect because everything happens for us. Um, and if you feel like to revisit and see if there's any couple couple more of an eggs that are about to break from outside, right?
Hmm.
Um, it's always a go to go all to, it's good to go all in, like at least for me. One thing is already always like, you know what? Let's check in everywhere. Either way, this is already falling apart. So right now, I'm just gonna move through everything very fast, very
Yeah.
fast. Right? Because a lot of times we do the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. So if let's say
True that.
if I am bleeding in my relationship, yeah, it might look like I'm doing great in my career, for example, yet I'm already overcompensating in career and pleasing, and then right there I'm bleeding and bleeding frustration and chaos that I brought home, right? So usually, if I'll bleed somewhere, it eventually gonna bleed somewhere else as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, if there's a misalignment somewhere, it might check. And again, it's just a potential. It's not, oh, you were wrong, you're misaligned.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
hey, there is this leak because if we close it, this gap, you don't have to have it, period.
Hmm.
There's another level of lightness and like clarity of a signal, I will say.
Yeah.
Um, how? Okay, I have two questions. So the first one is this. In a sentence or two, right? In your own words, from your own experiences, whatever comes up, the difference between the chosen expansion versus forced breakdown.
Chosen, the
Expansion
difference
versus forced
between
breakdown.
chosen expansion and forced breakdown.
Yeah. So for example, you and your beautiful partner, man, husband, fiance, whichever way you want it, like all the titles. And, I see you all the time, like going on the runs. Both again, both being in that breath work, going on a fast, going into the dipping into the ice water, correct? So again, I'm not saying that people have to do it.
Or
That's not the
it could
conversation.
be unique for everyone what that
Yes,
is.
we're sharing the structures, right, of where she pours into, and a lot of times we wait because even this structure doesn't guarantee you that nothing happens, right? It doesn't.
Hmm.
Yet a lot of times, let's say we will wait until health hits you
Right.
and the knees, or let's say relationship starts falling apart because you don't have anything or there's no presence with each other, right? Or that. So in your own experiences, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, what is that difference?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, in the experience, it's like, what is that difference? You can
yeah, for
challenge
me,
yourself into expansion. Sometimes even as minimum as, well, it's not minimum because it feels big a lot of times. I get it. Yet there is a theme or a subject that a lot of families or couples, let's say, never touch it, right? Because it's like a sore one, or it's the one that they never agree on, or you get it? Like, or it's the one that I never was able to confront. You get it? Like,
Mhm.
even like, I'm actually gonna just have this conversation. Like, even that is you leaning into expansion.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like changing anything, not like I'm together, I'm not together. No, it's like, oh, okay, let me see. So even that, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, chosen expansion is ultimately testing your own edges and testing your own boundaries to ultimately increase your capacity for more life
Oh,
to come through you for the
more
greater good.
charge.
Yeah, like because ultimately, like, there's no ceiling to hit. Like, there isn't like, oh, reached my max
Yeah.
ability to, gain knowledge and wisdom, or reached my absolute max physical health. It cannot
Correct.
get better from here, right? There's no ceiling to
Yeah.
hit. So I would say like intentional, I forgot the phrasing you used, intentional expansion. What did you call it?
Yeah, like yeah,
Yeah.
choosing
So
intentional
it's like,
expansion or
yeah, so just like testing your own edge, like what would be possible if I pushed my edge a little bit more, if I did the hard thing, because anytime we allow ourselves to anytime we consciously choose to do hard things, it increases our capacity to handle more of life. And it's you putting out a signal of like, I'm ready for more. I can handle more. I'm putting the work in to be able to have a larger capacity for more greatness to come into my life. When we're staying small, how can like the I keep coming back to the example you said of how like our bodies are actually in our
yeah,
higher
yeah,
self,
yeah,
right? So like if I'm staying small, how could higher self, more of like my truth come through if I'm not increasing my capacity, if I'm not intentionally expanding and intentionally going outside of my comfort zone? Because that's where growth lies, right? That's where the unknown exists. If we're just working with the known reality, we're just working with what we've seen other people do. Your reality is created out of the unknown. It is your unique energy, your unique blueprint. So when we're intentionally testing our edge, pushing us outside of our comfort zones, trying something new, trying something challenging, we're allowing our energy to expand so that we can hold the next level of us, right? And that
yeah. It's
that like forced or that forced collapse that you called it, like what kind of came to mind right away for me is like when the shell is just so old and so tight, but the blueprint of evolution is there. It's going to want to evolve. Whether you give space for it consciously or whether it's going to force its way through you,
mm,
right? Through dis-ease or disease or illness or depression or anxiety. There's something that's going to try to wake you up. There's something that's going to happen that's going to try to wake you up because you're not following that natural impulse of expansion. So it's going to knock at your door, and it could be in some really challenging ways. So either you could wait for that cracking to happen, or you can slowly mold that new like larger space for
yeah,
yourself rather than waiting till something comes in, like cracks it open to where, you know, now that's just it's two different realities, but
yeah,
they can one or like one projection right forward. That's the motion forward,
yeah.
and
Beautiful.
you can go there from
Absolutely.
a focused timeline, a chosen path, or an unfocused timeline where it's where like you're still creating your life, but it's coming from an
Yeah.
unconscious space, you
It's
know?
coming from the pain, from the lack,
Mhm.
from protection. And again, there is no wrong or right. There is no somebody lower or higher, somebody is far. We're
Yeah.
all at yeah, same. It's simply what your vessel is capable of. And as well, we chose the levels where we started. Something came up when you said, yeah, and it's so beautiful as well. Like the life will knock on the doors, right? And invite us into that expansion because it's very natural for evolution. And sometimes we don't want to go there, and it's okay because that's the imprint. All the systems update only through anomalies, not like everybody needs to be right away different. Yet, if one allows themselves, the other one allows themselves, the other one allows to step into authenticity, we become tuning forks automatically. And at the end of the end, that's what becomes available in the collective
Yeah.
field. And once that's working, and then once that's established that that's working, so suddenly majority sees us, Emile, right? Like, oh look, they have a lifestyle where they like, oh, you know what? We want to live in Colorado right now. Oh, you know what? We want to live in Hawaii, right? Oh, you know what? We want to live in Palanga right now, right?
Hmm.
Where the lifestyle is like, yeah, I have a beautiful business going, and there's another project that I'm so excited about, right? Or
Hmm.
yeah, I actually wanna start something, and you step into it and you go. So once we are simply living it as an example and being it without even really, needing to do anything else. Once that they see that it's working, wait, I don't have to step out of my passion and even authenticity to make money to actually and then enjoy my work, and then it works. And then if I actually invest a little bit in my body, like my body gives me more hours, more experiences of bliss, more okay, oh yeah, and it's working. So the more of us, the more of us it's working, then it just gets copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, and that's the become the new baseline where we're all moving into so beautifully. What a lifetime to be alive.
Yeah.
What a beautiful lifetime that we chose to be here. Hence, again,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know her, but I know her through her mom. Like, I know of her more, but I was like, we're standing shoulder and shoulder. Like, yeah,
Um,
for sure. Yeah, I recognize you, Star Sister.
yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. So again, what a beautiful way of going through your lens, through Emile's lens as well, and through some of my shares. Take it, whatever resonates, whatever doesn't, throw it out. Don't worry what you maybe comprehend, not comprehend, what gets frustrating for you, or where are you going to feel like,
Yeah.
simply notice things and know that everything unfolds in perfect timing. Your higher self probably took here what it needs as well, and lean into that expansion. And the biggest thing, expansion, it doesn't have to sound like a discipline and expansion of physical body and athleticism. It simply can sound like loving yourself more.
Hmm.
That's deep expansion.
Absolutely.
Prioritizing yourself only 5 extra minutes a day. Watch how that would ripple if you do that for 60 days,
Hmm.
right? Prioritizing and saying the first thing to yourself in the AM, something that is absolutely extraordinary and loving, right? And empowering. Do that one thing, that's already expanding. Leaning in expansion, challenging yourself, committing to creating a little bit of time, a little bit of energy, a little bit of effort, and that little goes into huge, huge things. Okay, I still have one question, right? I think one. Because I felt like this is okay. So, um, for you looking as well at your the whole studio and the the practices that you lead, the whole community, in fact, and the rituals that you lead, the classes, the sessions, the all teachers, absolutely amazing. The energy here there is amazing as well. Now you're in Colorado, so first of all, if anybody is around Chicago, right area, um Chicago, okay, what's the address? And then Rising Lotus, right?
Yeah.
Rising. So yeah, give us an address just if
Yeah.
anybody's in Chicago area.
Yeah, yeah. In the southwest suburbs of Chicago, I have a yoga studio and a healing center out there, and it's in Homer Glen. The address is 14911 South Bell Road, Homer Glen.
Well, I'll put it
And-
as well in the, yeah, I'll
Hmm.
put it in the description as well.
Thank you.
And then
Thank
you were
you.
in Colorado and you were doing something as well, I think, no?
Yeah, yeah. So I moved to Colorado this spring, so about like 9 months ago now, for just the pursuit of something even better, you know. And when you want something great, sometimes that means you have to leave something that's good in the pursuit of something that's
Right,
great,
yeah, beautiful.
right? And so that's kind of what the path I'm on right now, just sensing that something else wants to be born through me and feeling that that is here in Colorado. So I made my way out here and I'm honestly still just like dabbling and finding my
Love
way
it.
around, just giving myself space to explore and things like that. But out here in Chicago or out here in Denver, um, I've got a lot of things that I'm working on behind the scenes, really. I do have like some clients I work with one-on-one. I teach at a yoga studio just for the sake of community connection, but I'm working towards building out more mentorship, group mentorship style programs. And me and Ryan, my fiance, are going to be hosting a retreat in Aspen this fall. I've actually got one coming up in Colombia in a few months in April. So
Beautiful.
that's kind of where a lot of my energy is going, like focusing on getting ready for the retreats and slowly starting to build out more group style mentorship that is really a lot about what we're talking about, just really tapping into that infinite source within and ultimately creating your life from the story that you want, right? And choosing to make meaning and to align yourself with opportunities that really support you and yeah, things of all sorts of all that nature
Love
ultimately.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Emile's retreats are amazing as well. I've heard because I know people that went to them.
Hmm. Hmm.
They're amazing as well. I've heard some of your sound healing stuff. I've
Yeah.
participated in some, yeah, a while ago.
Awesome.
I love it as well. So you will send me all the this info and we'll
Sure.
put it in the description. So if people want to check out, you check it out, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, continue sharing your expression
Hmm.
all in whichever way, really
Hmm.
unapologetically. I love it. And again, there are so many of us sharing our experiences. The information is so, I feel like, easily attainable in a way right now, right? Like it's I can look up on
Resources are
YouTube anything
everywhere.
right now. Yeah. So really the support is there. The support is there. Either you want to invest into something one-on-one and go all in it. The support is there if you want to just go to a retreat and that's your first year. Like, okay, I'm gonna dabble into this. I'm gonna go to retreat, but I'm not doing anything every day, meditations. No. Perfect. Amazing. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't know for you, Emile, but I see everything as a tool. Like, somebody was complaining that I don't know, that their friend or sister is like too much into, oh no, got into tarot cards, like the tarot cards. And I was like, you know what? You'd never know. She was never into this world, into these worlds before. Now suddenly she's intrigued by tarot. That could be an entrance.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
because we start like, I started with Ayurveda camps and somewhere with hugging the tree, then meditate, and then everything kind of starts unfolding. Sometimes, you might not hear all this live and then tune in for 5 minutes and then you heard one sentence of Emile. That might be what you needed, that one scene, you know. Sometimes you hearing her say the same thing and then me saying the same thing, it hit you better than it hit her. But so we all have our own codes. We're all are valued and needed as the same. Another, we're sharing and then we're seeing how
Yeah,
many more possibilities. Because whatever I shared works for me, whatever Amelia shared works for me. You will take it and you'll make it your own. That it's going to have a cool twist, cool, energetical, awesome, badass signature that none of us have it and
yeah,
you're gonna make it your own. And my more so, right? The mission is eventually, and I might come to Emile for support. I already shared with you a while ago. I was like, eventually, I'm gonna do a retreat. And I tell you, I wasn't never so in it because people ask me, I did a lot of live. And live for me is like, the longest ones is like 2, 3 days or 8 hours a day, right? Like live
mhm,
events. I love them. I love those. Yet retreats, I always, because in the beginning when I started this work, I almost used to get a little bit mad because people used to come back from, Ayurveda retreat and then retreat and they're almost fragment themselves more because they can't really embody it and ground it in. And then they go from, oh my God, I saw it, we're one. And then they go so hysterical on this really something that just happened. And we can't ground it in. And they go to another retreat and they go to another ayahuasca and they go to another retreat, but they don't want to do the work on every daily basis. You get
yeah,
it?
yeah,
And then they were still like, why am I mad? But I'm already invested in that, but I was like, you will get the signal going in the retreat. You will tune in into Mama Aya and that consciousness level and that available frequency being on that trip. You will tune in what psychedelic is going to offer you for how many neuron pathways going to open up for you and what you're going to see. Yet to ground it in every day, you get to ground it. You get to ground it into your vessel. It has to.
That's where all the work is. It's not the peak experience, it's what you do with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. It has to literally reflect into just the way you speak everywhere and with everything and with everyone in a ways, and the way you allow yourself to express everywhere. And it just ripples into everything. And it's okay if you're having challenging time to integrate your highs and then you're getting a lot of times disappointed and then people start looping even more because they're like suddenly disappointed but it was so high, where is it, am I going backsliding? Your nervous system is asking for it to be safer, your body, your limbs are asking for you to support it to detox and move a little bit more. Your mental body is asking for a little detox so it can integrate, so it can start a little bit embodying it one little step at a time. Because it's not in a big steps. So all of it is needed because some people can't even have an access, let's say, to these kind of experiences if they really don't go
Yeah.
into places like you get it. Yet, so for me, it was always because, like, literally, okay, I'm walking with you every day, and we're just doing it. So again, I love it because there's no competition. I don't even see it as like Emile has a competition with somebody else from yoga or like that breath work, the facilitator is competition to the. I don't even see it because I don't live in the reality or universe where there's lack. No, everybody's universe is infinite with possibilities, period.
Mhm.
You know. So that's again, it's amazing and it's profound experiences as you were sharing from the mind and psychology, and then you having experiences, and then you going into even diver deep, deeper dive and diver deep, yeah, with like, what's up? Give it to me.
Yeah.
What's here? So I love it. Okay, last question, and then we'll be done. So again, you right now, looking at it all your life, or yeah, your journey. Why knowing thyself isn't philosophy, yet it's a lifestyle embodied, right? Why knowing thyself would be that one of essential missions, we'll say here. Why has it been so important to you, right? And why are you continuing to choose, no matter the challenges, to embody and embody again and again and again
Mhm.
and again? So
Yeah, that's a good question. When you know thyself, when you know yourself deeply, nothing takes you off of your path, right? You're confident in who you are. You take the time to get to know your body, to understand your mind, to understand what gives you energy, what drains you energy, right? When you have that connection with yourself, all these things can be happening around you, but it doesn't take you off of your path. Yes, things might shake up, and we're human, right? We're meant to get off of the path so that we can get back on it and learn something by getting off of the path at some
yeah.
point. It's a natural part of the process, but when you know yourself, things don't really bother you that much anymore. It doesn't really matter what people might complain about you or, things don't really get to you anymore because you are so confident in who you are and you're just having a jolly old time. You're having a good time with life. So it's like, you know, it doesn't really start to affect you like
The
the.
same world, but a different universe, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think like to kind of wrap it up in a sentence, when you genuinely get to know yourself, you can you don't get wavered off your path that frequently and you stay in your own unique lane, so to speak, that
Experience.
is, yeah, in your own unique experience, in your own unique expression when you are in connection with yourself, because you're not, you're not too influenced by the way other people are doing it and then trying to, maybe intentionally or maybe not intentionally kind of trying to copy them, right?
Yeah,
Because you don't really know what you like and you don't really know what you want. You don't really know who you are. So how are you supposed to create your life if you don't have connection with yourself?
yeah,
And we're all like this unique melody to the song of the cosmos, and your purpose is to sing your song, to
yeah.
fulfill your melody, which fulfills life. You are in service by being you, because no one is here to be you but you. So the more you know yourself, the more you can honor your truth, and the more you honor your truth, what's meant to come through you for the greater good will.
Wow, beautiful. And I will add on, yeah, the same thing, just a few layers to it. With all what you said, yes, less noise, less distractions, less this, so much more deeper ease, really swimming in your energy, enjoying the experiences. Such a different, profound, life comparing to when you're coming through the pains lens. And where I'm going to take it deeper is what you already shared when you went into, I don't know, Nirvana, God, no, 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 and whatever you want to believe, right? Knowing thyself is being able to have that experience of God.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, that's why less distractions, and you live the world in the world that you want to live in. You don't live in the world that people tell you to live in, because just with that one experience, with that one reprogramming of those codes, of those core beliefs, there's so many core beliefs collapses. Suddenly you don't need any belief system. Suddenly you don't need the fucking validations. Suddenly you don't need the confirmation of your value. Suddenly you don't need productivity to be relative to this world. Suddenly you don't need so much just by that experience, knowing thyself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the true value. Yeah, amen. So yeah, because everything works at all the levels all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this level, it feels like Roma, yeah, and enjoying Roma deciding to have an experience, whatever she decides, no matter what, right? And then
Mm.
at the higher level as well, right? So beautifully, like simply flowing and being that coherence tuner for everyone else. Yes, there is so much beauty in this journey. Beautiful, agonizing, painful, and absolutely fucking beautiful. All of
Yeah,
it.
we're meant to
Yes,
experience all of it.
all of it, all of it. Say yes to all of it.
And the level we're willing to meet the level we're willing to meet ourselves is reflected in the way, wait, there's a different way I want to say it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Life, yes, there we go. Life meets us to the level and degree we're willing to meet ourselves,
Ourselves.
right?
Absolutely. Amen. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If you're just scratching the surface with your own self, then you're only going to experience life
Yeah,
on that surface level where
yeah,
there's not really much depth or
yeah,
meaning or richness. If you're willing to go there into the pain, the beauty, the agony, the grief, the love, the ecstasy, all of it, if you're willing to go into all of that life is giving you and presenting you, and you're fully going into it and trusting that process, that journey, then life starts to meet
yeah.
you at that level, at that depth that you're willing to meet life. And
Amen.
yeah,
Boom. I love it.
yeah.
I love, we're all like together. I was like, oh, I know we're finishing. Either way, I knew we're finishing because you gotta be somewhere in a little bit. And yeah, I was like, wow, there's so much fire. So we actually go into these kind of mini convos like this, uh, almost
Every
on all the
Tuesday.
sessions. Tomorrow our session we are scheduling. It's really fun. We both actually it fell into it like this. And look how beautiful. We're actually both doing a Lithuanian podcast with someone that we both know. And I just found out that you're doing with Asta podcast. And then I told her, I was like, I'm doing with Asta tomorrow podcast. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, Emile is day before with me. Like, so
Yeah.
funny. And then you're gonna go and record with her as well.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you so much for everyone that joined. Rita said hi.
Yeah. Thank
Hi,
you for
Rita.
tuning
Yeah, I saw
in.
quite a few people as well. Please share your experiences if you feel like this could be supportive to someone or resonate with someone.
Mhm.
As you saw, we touched, these awkward, the sensitive ones, right? The ones that don't feel like fit. And it looks like it ain't a bad label because at the end of the end, in this Aquarius age, in this knowledge age, knowing age, in this communication of much faster, much cleaner vessels, Emile, sensitivity is going to be the biggest value that you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
have because, yeah, these are literally the bullshit detectors. They're like, beep,
Mhm.
beep, 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 it's not working. My body's not working on this.
Yeah.
And you see that the dark night of the soul, the death, the egg, the shell breaks anyways. No matter if you choose, we are no better. Like if I chose one challenge and actually cracked the egg from inside, and then at the other time I didn't choose the challenge and I let the life crack my egg, I'm still the same value, by the way. No, it doesn't matter. We're still the same value. I'm not worse or better. We're simply sharing from our own experiences that in our interpretation and experiences of the life that we are, it is much more supportive. It feels like setting up yourself for a win when you actually crack the egg from the inside, as paradoxical as it is, and at the same time understand that even when we're cracking the egg from inside, hence again, you comparing to somebody in Olympic Games, you comparing to an athlete, you comparing yourself, know that yes, from outside it looks that we are conquering the challenge, yet at the same time, simultaneously, there is so much collapse happening within, right? Every time you start a new podcast, you gotta crack the shell of the shyness. You gotta check in with the shame and guilt. You gotta check in with how much of not good enough, how rigid your core believes. Every time, there is a different guest, you're like, oh, wait, how am I like right now being and doing and
Yeah.
dancing? Yeah.
That's where
So
life becomes a co-creative process, right?
absolutely. So
Yeah.
again, either the image is like this, like somebody's challenging and cracking you, and you feel like, oh, good for them. I'm not. Don't worry. The death is happening inside anyways. And same for you, even if you let your life crack it, it doesn't matter. The growth happens simultaneously and you can still tune into it fully and allow yourself, set yourself for a win, right? To move through that
Yeah.
transitioning a little faster per se, or easier with a little more ease, and so on. So I really trust that the supports, all the links for Emily's stuff, she will give it to me. You don't be in a hurry because that's going to happen only by Tuesday or Wednesday that I'm going to do the
Okay.
description and comments here. So you have 24 hours as a minimum. Send me all the
Okay.
links. I will share where you can find Emily. Follow her on Instagram for sure. Facebook as well. Again, if you're in Colorado area, she does some stuff. If Chicago area, again, her studio is beautiful, and there's always a lot of events there. So
Yeah.
yeah, if people like events, that's beautiful. Ooh, announcement for me, quick one. 22nd of February, I have a masterclass upcoming. It's a session of 2 hours, Savage Sage. So we'll go through the body as a nervous imprint, as blood type as a processor, lymph as a waste management, and fascia as a
Pretty
memory
good.
3D imprint, right? Like literally, that's how we, right? Nervous system is our, we'll say why. It allows whatever it allows, right? If my nervous system is in fight or flight, it allows me to experience very little things like we just shared. Our blood type, let me know your blood type. Um, um, uh, Simply determines is like a crystalline structure of how we process these stuff, whatever nervous system got imprinted, right? Because again, for somebody will be easier to process in solitude, and for somebody definitely needs to be seen,
Hmm.
right? And heard. And somebody is more, get stuck in the limbs and emotions, and it's harder to clean up. So the same, the limbs, if my emotions and mental stories loop so much, even my limbs are not, they're connected to my emotional body. They can't take waste as easily, right? Out. And the same fascia again. If I didn't process shame in my life, my posture will tell you that my posture, my even the way features of your face shape shifts. So it's very cool. When you read the patterns, you don't read yourself, you just know. And remember how we laughed, Emily, on one of the yoga sessions? I was like, well, we don't really scan the world, we scan ourselves.
Yeah.
Hence again, and really knowing thyself, understanding yourself, rather like getting from somebody what it means, what this means, but really you knowing what it means for you, just knowing the mechanism of the body, and then understanding what this tool does for you. How does it influence your nervous system, your lymph, and so on. So this is going to be upcoming on the 22nd. I'll share links up here as well. Other than that, wow, thank you so much, Emile. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
thank you
everyone
so
showing
much
up.
for having me. It was good to chat and take a deep dive.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited to see what you're creating longer. In
Thank
the long
you.
run, I'm so excited I feel like, yeah, our co-creation is not done yet. We're kind of keep
Oh,
tapping into each other right now, yeah?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, and personal levels and on collective levels. So
yeah.
I'm really excited anytime if you have any ideas or anything, or maybe one of the retreats I get to come along, and
Yeah, the
yeah, and see
possibilities
what's
are
up.
endless.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the fun part. So thank you. I love you. I'm
I
excited
love
to see you
you.
on Astos podcast as well.
Yes, you
Yes,
too.
absolutely. And thank you so much, beautiful souls. Again, everyone that tuned in right now, everyone that will
Yeah.
tune in will watch later. Any MLS people, my people, we're also family. If you have any questions, if something came up, you can always share in comments, or
Yeah.
you have my email as well. If anything came up heavy, reach out. And if you want to reach out to Emily as well, please,
Yeah,
yeah, find her on Instagram, DM her. Again, we'll share all the links
absolutely.
eventually.
Yeah,
So
we're in this together.
yes, absolutely. I'm already excited. I'm already celebrating everybody's breakdowns right now. Magic is happening. So I'm gonna leave the Zoom and then I'm gonna say bye to Emily one-on-one really quick.
Okay.
Thank you, beautiful
Thank you
beings.
all for tuning in. Thank you for having me, Rama.
Yeah, so beautiful. I love how we today, like I'm red and she's this blue,
I
and I was like, oh,
know.
red blue shift.